going on? Try this again. Last video frickin' didn't record, but anyway, a chance dance with the ghost light. And then this is in this book here, Weird Michigan, by this person, Linda S. Godfrey. So this is very interesting right here. Listen, dude, we are so dumbed down because this is old science, man, that we just don't ever hear about because it's unpopular for political and ideological reasons. But anyway, a chance dance with the ghost light. And it's this is just a story, but I might as well read the story. But it's about something else, what they're making the video about. This is actually about Quakelights. Some people say Quakelights are the government using HARP, which is very, very highly debatable. This right here is a possible natural cause of the earthquake lights. Anyway, a chance dance with the ghost light. My first encounter with a ghost light was chance while my wife and I were vacationing in the Upper Peninsula. We stopped in a small town waters meet and heard about a mysterious light. Following directions, we found ourselves parked at a dusk on a hill on a U.S. forest road, approximately 100 to 150 yards from us and another hill. A power line corridor ran right over the hills and through the valley below. I've heard this before. Power lines can empower ghosts and spirits. I mean, you know, in the Bible, there's a part in where Jesus was walking on the water, and it says that the disciples in the boat, for a second, thought it was a ghost or a spirit. So, I mean, this is a belief that is present, and, you know, like a lot of people say, there's no such thing as ghosts. Well, it's like, then what are people seeing? They're spirits, you know what I'm saying? And not sure exactly what causes that, but and what's crazy too is there's a demon in Jewish is called it's called a daibuk, and in Indian a frickin' spirit is called a gibuk. It's really similar. The syllables are the same in the two words, and also the meaning of the words is similar. Like the Jewish demon and the Indians would call it, well, a spirit like an angel or something supernatural would be called a manadu, but a gibuk is more like a demon or an unclean spirit or a spirit of some sort. But anyway, as it grew, a small amber light appeared on the hill in front of us. Suddenly it went out and switched off, and after a few minutes reappeared. This time it glowed to a bright white light, seemed very similar to gas lanterns seen at a distance. We observed the same display several times before leaving. Also, up on the reservation on Mission Hill, that's a graveyard up there, and there's a flower lady who walks around, which is a ghost with no legs, and she's like dressed kind of like a nun with flowers around her hair. And I've heard multiple generations of people talk about this. Anyway, on our next visit was May 1980. This time I had my 35mm camera loaded with ASA 400 film. I set my camera on a tripod with the shutter release, and we waited. Once again, the light appeared. It was amber, glowing to a white light. The light disappeared several minutes before returning, remaining on each time for about 1 minute and approximately 150 yards from us. Pause. Also, the Foo Fighters and orbs are everywhere these days. I mean, in World War, this is nothing new under the sun, man. This was going on in the 40s, man, and 50s with the Foo Fighters during war times. The light appeared to move. It flickered and swayed as it moved. The light was reflected off the power lines and jack at once and appeared and split in two. This was the case as the negative film showed up two dark spots, one above another. There's also, look, right here, you got a shadow people. The most startling display happened after the light winked out. Above some pine trees to the left where the light appeared, note a small red light began to drift upward, zigzagging motion, and it winked out. I just watched a video of this same phenomena the other day. Another light appeared that made arcs above the trees, and then the two red lights appeared, one followed under the undulating movements. Local people informed me that the lights go out when approached. They said they would also appear suddenly alongside cars or individuals. It is also told that the light appeared in the area before the power lines were installed. There are supposed to be over 100 known ghost lights in the United States, and there has been much folklore offered to explain these lights. Several involve the theme of the railroad worker killed on the job. Others include tales of lovers committing suicide because they were unable to wed. Some believe that there are beings from other worlds or other dimensions. This is our UFOs are actually interdimensional. They're not aliens. It's just that's the common vernacular. But if you look at the dwarfs, imps, gremlins, if you look at all these phenomena, they're little people. Indians also talk about little people. And the grays, the things that say that they're aliens, are these short creatures, and they got big black eyes like bugs. You know what I'm saying? And but they're little people, and they also are shapeshifters. They use psychic imagery to communicate with people in some circumstances. Some of the conventional explanations vary also. Will-o'-the-wisps are caused by spontaneous combustion of gas from decomposing organic material. And pause once again. Recently I've been looking into bog iron. I call it boggern. But dude, iron, coal, oil is all these bogs, man, and they're everywhere around here, which would bring ancient travelers into the area to extract resources. And I find mounds everywhere, and these things called cairns are all over Ireland and all that, and the Nords and all that, the Nordics, and that went all through Europe, and the Germanics, the barbarians. These guys made these things. Anyway, decomposing organic material, usually gas, expands, though it does not remain small, compact mass. The automobile headlight is another popular explanation. However, many ghost lights were seen as areas prior to the invention of the automobile. It does not explain how these lights suddenly appear next to the overhead of observers. Right here, this is the main point. The piezoelectric effect is probably the most logical explanation of many ghost lights. It occurs when crystalline materials in the Earth's crust are suddenly stressed. And look, heat and pressure makes diamonds, right? They say it takes a lot of years, but what if it just happens during earthquake and volcanic activity instantaneous, just like the Mount St. Helen mud flood? Suddenly stressed. And here's this stressed again, how things change. Like, look, stress causes hermaphrodite plants, and it causes locusts. And I'm saying the stress, and then look, normally some kind of enabler who's intentionally stressing you out, like a over controlling, smothering mother, will stress people out, and that might be a reason why they get funny. You know what I'm talking about? This may result in a plasma-like, like luminous display. So look, plasma again. This effect, plasma, the fourth state, liquid, gas, and solid. Plasma. Look, and it's all over the universe. It's in our blood. Our blood has got plasma in it. Freaking these things are all connected, like Z-pinch theory, 0 point theory. These also, they say the heart is piezoelectric, which would make sense. You got a compression pump going like this, right? And it's squeezing the very even molecules, and that's actually what a calculator uses to power itself, is that the sun hits this crystal and it makes it expand. So the expansion causes a pressure on the molecules, and the molecules vibrate, and it lets off an electrical charge. That is basically what is that? It's another kind of electricity. And dude, you look at all these rocks. Like I've noticed since I started rock hounding, I see a lot of these weird stuff, anomalous stuff, and it looks to me like, look, that the process of fossilization, I think personally, is from some kind of a chemical bath. Like and volcanoes release a lot of acid. Okay, uh, or also iron is caused by a bacteria that eats the rust basically and transforms it out of the rotting material. Decomposition. It's a bacteria. So either you're coated with acid, certain bacteria grow more in acidic or base environments. So I'm thinking that because recently I've noticed in the past few years, like changes in things, right? Like it seems like the water was more corrosive once they put the smart meters in, and then I noticed the effect that it had on metal was greater, quicker, and then I started to notice, why are the rocks so pretty when it rains? And then I found out you can actually put rocks in acid and dissolve the coarser elements of it, and only the crystalline will remain. And you can also use rocks to make batteries, dude. It's like the rocks are Wi-Fi. Like each rock has its own Wi-Fi in it, but it's not activated until it's either compressed or acid is dumped on it. That's all a battery is acid and metal in a little frickin' container, and it's got a positive and a negative. And you can do the same thing literally with rocks. So this could be the explanation of Quakelights. But anyway, plasma-like luminous display. This effect often is attributed to various colored lights seen prior to earthquakes. Many ghost lights do appear over fault lines, such as the San Andreas in California. No one explanation covering the many lights has been put forth. This intriguing and awesome phenomenon continues to be part of our folklore and legend. Anyway, there's a natural spot down the road, and me and my buddy stayed out there one time, and literally at night it is really weird. The lights around there are strange. I'm not sure if it's ghost light, if it's swamp gas. That would make sense to me because, gas lets off fumes, and you can see these fumes, right? So if there's a lot of fumes rising up at the night, it would bend the light around. You know what I mean? And it could, it has weird, it looks weird around there. Either it's because it's like a bowl shape. There's water all around it. It's got elevation and low points, man. So it's like, it's really odd the way the light works around that area, man. So I wouldn't call it a ghost light, but it's along that kind of strange phenomena, and I've kind of witnessed it for myself. Yeah, right over here too. Where was this at? I seen something about St. Elmo's right here. This is another disappearing lights on the lake, but it's talking about St. Elmo's fire. And not too long ago, there's a video on YouTube of somebody taking off their glove in a winter storm, and there's blue light glowing off their hand. It's like, basically they say that it's a high level of static electricity, and that is from friction of particles causes static electricity, and it starts to generate a field. So this is more of this electricness of the universe and of reality that, people don't always take it into account, but it's because we're dumbed down. It's not that the information isn't out there, but mainstream science is obscuring it intentionally. I mean, there's no other reason, because this type of stuff is interesting. You know what I mean? Why don't they teach us stuff like this? Look, hoovering. And then it also was talking about ball lightning, which could that be the orbs in the Foo Fighters? But I don't think so. But there is a connection, because it's like, look, it really, things are microcosm, macrocosm, and there's similarities and laws that every part of this reality is subject to, because it's like, we can't just, the Bible says something about, look, could you by your own thought and your worry make yourself an inch taller? You can't. Can you make your falling out hair grow back? No. It's out of our control. Why can't people accept that sometimes, you know? But anyway, we out of here.